I'd like you to meet the other members of the 2020 Vision Project team. There are 7 of us in all. The writer, Paddy Gormley. The director, that's me, Maurice Thorogood. Our 3 actors, Olivia Busby, Lianne Tucker and Alexander Jonas. Assistant director, Charlotte Jennings. And creative producer, Stephanie Connell. We all met through Actors and Writers London, the wonderful organisation that brings new plays to life in rehearsed readings, professionally acted and directed. One of the many great things about Actors and Writers London, or AWL as it's known, is that we get to know one another by working together. It's a fantastic pool of talent. It enables us to develop professional networks and friendships over months and years. The best of it is that everyone gives freely of their time and talent. It reinforces the point that we're all in it together and that we can trust one another. So let's meet the team, starting with our writer, Paddy Gormley. In most productions, the writer just hands over the script and leaves you to get on with it. If you're lucky as a director, the writer will allow you to suggest little touches to help make the script work more effectively on stage. With Paddy, though, you get so much more. He has worked closely with me at every step of this project, and it's a joy to work with him. When you suggest something to Paddy, you don't get that defensive long face that some writers show you. He invariably says, let's try it. And if the experiment calls for a bit of new writing, I never have to ask twice. A few hours later, there will be an email from him with some new text that's just what I had in mind, that fits perfectly with everything else. His characters have extraordinary depth and he knows them intimately. So you can ask him anything you like and get an immediate answer that is not just made up on the spot, but clearly thought out and properly explained. I love Paddy's verse writing too. His approach is so different and endlessly fascinating. Here he is talking about his approach to verse writing.
It seems to me that verse plays generally adhere to a single verse scheme. One thinks of pentameter with Shakespeare, or with Molière, the huge 12-footed lines that have their own particular rhythm, and French methods of rhyming. It was in 1995 when I embarked on a very ambitious Molière project adapting Le Misanthrope, that I began to experiment with the idea that each character could have his or her own rhyme scheme.
Now let's meet the actors. Alexander Jonas plays Alec. The challenge for our male lead is changing his age by up to 60 years in the blink of an eye. It's all down to the acting. We don't rely on costume changes or makeup, though the 4 ages of Alec will be further helped by lighting and music when it comes to the stage production. From the very start of our rehearsals, I knew that Alexander Jonas was the perfect man for 2020 Vision.
Like Olivia, I'm not playing different people, I'm playing the same person at different stages of his life. And so although it's the same character, you have to influence what you do physically and vocally to show the different stages of the life he's in. And of course, by the time he's 60, he's quite a bitter man. And of course, that manifests in his voice and his physicality as well, as opposed to when he was a cockeyed optimist almost as a 20-year-old. So it is like playing 4 different people, really, even though it's the one.
Lianne Tucker plays Roz, the carer who looks after the 80-year-old Alec. Lianne does it beautifully, as you've already heard in the feedback from our rehearsed reading at AWL. I'm particularly impressed with her thoughtful approach to the play and her wonderful insights into the mind of her character.
I play Roz. She is Alec 80's carer. Through readings and rehearsals, we've realised how pivotal Roz's role is. The challenge is to change that energy with each scene that Roz is in with Alec. She's very professional. She loves her job. She's quite a off-the-cuff kind of girl, and she does develop this fondness for Alec. She sort of lets him get away with a few things, and she'll go out of her way to get him certain literature that he wants and his special treats, which are these sticky buns that he likes. And they're very playful together, which is nice. She brings out Alec's younger self, and through that he then ends up reminiscing about his love affairs, and that's when...
Olivia Busby is our female lead. She plays 3 women, each aged 40. Belinda, Alec's first love in 1960, Natasha in 1980, and Lucy in 2000. Again, this calls for virtuoso acting skills, and Olivia possesses them in abundance. Even before the end of our first rehearsal, she had found 3 completely distinct voices for her characters. We made an audio trailer for the show a few months ago, and when I played it to a friend, she said how lucky we were to have found 3 women with such strongly contrasting voices. That's Olivia for you.
Each relationship is quite different, so I'm very aware that it's got to be really clear 3 completely different characterizations for me, because I can be playing Belinda 1 minute and then 10 seconds later I'm Natasha, and then back to Belinda and back to Lucy. There's no big costume change, and that's quite a challenge because they're all 40. But yes, it does become easier once we go into the scene and Alec is at these 3 different stages.
Our assistant director is Charlotte Jennings. I first worked with Charlotte when I directed a reading of one of her plays at AWL last year. She was my first choice for assistant, and I was delighted when she agreed to help with the project. Charlotte is a great asset at rehearsals because she listens so carefully and asks penetrating questions. When she comments on something, you know she's speaking the truth with complete sincerity. She's an excellent stage manager too, and unfailingly reliable.
My role is getting all the things together, make sure everyone's happy, and most important, the writer is happy that we've respected his vision. I did the stand for the actors and writers' rehearsed reading, try to make sure all the cues were correct, and the music which Paddy, who made, he found, it was just so beautifully interwoven with the play. And so for me, it enhanced the words, the vision. I really learned a lot from it. It made me think about my own play in a different way, how to add musicality and movement to my own play.
Our creative producer is Stephanie Connell. Stephanie is an exceptionally multi-talented person. Actress, playwright, web designer, and social media guru, to name but a few. She is also a long-standing and greatly loved member of AWL and has been its treasurer for more than 15 years. I knew from the very start that we wanted Stephanie to take on the pivotal role of creative producer for 2020 Vision, and it's great to know that she is as committed to the project as everyone else.
I've worked with Maurice several times now, mainly as an actor, but more recently as a writer, co-writer of my play with Carolyn Lloyd-Davis, Birds of Prey. He directed Birds of Prey for a play reading, and both of us intend to put the play into production, and we will want to keep Maurice as the director.
I've been putting production teams together for a lot of years, and I've learnt from my many mistakes. My biggest mistake was bringing together people with similar skills. So I'd end up with 3 technicians and no one at all with finance or publicity skills. The 2020 Vision team could not be more different. I've already mentioned how Charlotte brings her skills as a writer to the job of assistant director, and how Stephanie is not just a creative producer with first-hand experience of every aspect of company management, but also an accomplished publicist and financial manager. But it doesn't end there, because Paddy Gormley, our writer, is far more than a writer. He is also our photographer. He produced the beautiful rehearsal shots that you're seeing here. He recorded the audio trailer that you can hear on our project website, 2020vision.photography, and helped Charlotte and I to edit it. It was Paddy who built the website. He also constructed the financial model that underpins our budget and our Kickstarter rewards program. And once our project is funded and underway, Paddy will manage the rewards program, making sure that your support is recognised, valued and rewarded. In short...
Sorry, Maurice, I need to cut in there because our Kickstarter friends need to know what your team thinks of you.
Maurice, no, he's wonderful because he's full of energy and inspiration and ideas. And also what's wonderful is he's very concise with his direction. He's not vague, he doesn't waffle on or anything like that. In a few well-chosen words, you know exactly what he wants. Whether I can deliver that or not is a different matter, but I certainly know what he wants.
He's great because he allows us to play, to find things. We're in an environment where we can try things out, and that's really important in rehearsals.
Directors in my time, and I just find with Maurice that I just get his language. He's very visual. We always walk around the space. He likes to give us certain actions or a movement to give us a sensation to either speak a line or come into the scene and break an energy. I respect his way that he deals with us as actors. We're not sitting down, working through the lines. We're up on our feet. It's active. Where, in life, we don't sit and think about what we're going to do. We do it. We're acting on the lines. And, he allows us as well as actors to bring in our instincts. And then he works with us in the space with that instinct, which I find very helpful. I feel very confident in him. I'm excited for the journey that we're going to go on in this piece.
Maurice directed my play last year. He really helped to open my mind to my own play. But I've had it in a particular style, and he changed it. He brought more air, more energy towards it. And I see the same thing in Paddy's play. He's opened up the play. Certain things which I didn't see, he's made me look at it in a different way. So for me, he's a very exciting director. He's open, he's willing to experiment, try different things, and he's got a wealth of knowledge or experience which I envy.
From an actor's point of view, Maurice gives you the time of day. Each actor that is involved in a particular project has just as much importance from somebody with a major part and one with a smaller part. And I think that's quite telling in a director. I've worked with several other directors who don't collaborate with you, that don't see you as an actor and feel that you have some creativity. I mean, Maurice is all about creativity. That's what he is to me. With regard to directing my play, I think the depth of his preparation was enormous. For a production where nobody was being paid, he just went beyond the call of duty. He thought of things that both Carolyn and I didn't see or didn't even think about, which made us go, oh wow, we hadn't thought of that. That's a really good idea.
I have to say that this project would not have reached its present stage without your inspiration and enthusiasm. When I first devised this project in the year 2000, in fact, I couldn't finish it. There were 3 timelines. But the last of these, in the year 2000, was present time, and it made it really awkward for me to bring it together. I had the idea of the 2020 plot just a few years ago, and the concept of it was fairly well worked out in my mind when we first met to discuss it. But you've played a huge role in bringing the ideas to fruition and bringing to bear your theatrical experience to shape my sometimes fanciful ideas and turn them into a play that really does work on stage.
Thank you all so much. What a great team I've got around me. That's a bit embarrassing, actually, but in a very nice way. Thank you. Thank you very much, you lovely people. Put all these things together and you can see what a fantastic team we have, and that your money will be in safe hands. And you can be sure that this project is going places.